I used to believe in permanence, in shared glances, warm silence, the kind of bond that hums quietly beneath everything loud in the world. That was before her voice started sounding like someone else's, before her body stopped feeling like home. Maya. Even now, the name feels like a spell, soft, seductive, dangerous. She walked into my life not as a stranger, but like a forgotten memory that suddenly slipped back in, uninvited, yet too beautiful to turn away. The first time I saw her, I swear something shifted. The earth? Time? Maybe just me. It was at a gallery, of all places. I was never the artsy type, but my friend Jared thought dragging me to an opening night would somehow heal the heartbreak from my last toxic entanglement. I didn't expect anything. Certainly not her. She stood by a painting titled Whispers in Crimson, red tones smeared with shadow, chaos tamed into elegance. She didn't just look at it. She understood it. Her eyes, dark and quiet, traced every brushstroke with reverence. "You like it?" she asked without turning her head. I froze. Was she talking to me? "Yeah," I said, awkwardly shoving my hands in my coat pockets. "I don't get it, but it feels honest." That made her smile. She turned, finally. That smile wasn't forced. It wasn't polite. It was like she'd already figured out who I was and decided I'd do. "I'm Maya. Mason." We shook hands. Something electric passed between us. No cliché spark, no slow-motion nonsense. Just this silent understanding. We are going to ruin each other, and it's going to be beautiful. 3 weeks later, she moved in. It wasn't planned. She just started leaving things. First, her toothbrush. Then earrings. A book. Her favorite mug. It was gradual, like water seeping into cracks. One day I woke up and she was just there, like she'd always been. I didn't question it. Didn't want to. Maya had a way of making everything feel deliberate, even her chaos. She was unpredictable but not erratic. She knew exactly what she was doing. We'd spend nights tangled in each other. Mornings were slow, often missed meetings, skipped calls. Our world was soft sheets, espresso, shared playlists, the smell of her shampoo on my pillows. We made love like we were trying to forget who we'd been before. But cracks began early. They always do. She'd leave in the evening, to meet a friend, and come home hours later smelling like a man's cologne I didn't wear. Her phone would light up at 2 a.m., and she'd turn it face down without glancing. She told stories with the kind of detail you only use when lying. But every time I asked, she had an answer. "I was with Claire." "You're being paranoid. It's work stuff. I don't owe you every detail of my life, Mason." That last one stung. Not because it was harsh, but because it was true. One night, I came home early from a work trip. I didn't tell her. I wanted to surprise her. I imagined finding her reading, curled under a blanket, maybe waiting for me. Instead, I opened the door to silence. Her heels were in the hall. Her jacket slung over a chair. Her phone buzzed on the table. The screen lit up with a name, Eli. I picked it up. Just once. Just that time. The text said, "Last night was everything. When can I see you again?" My hands went numb. I sat there, staring at it. The words didn't even hurt. Not immediately. They just floated in the room like smoke, thick and unreal. When she walked in, she froze. "You're back early," she said, voice casual. Controlled. I held up her phone. "Who's Eli?" She didn't flinch. She didn't cry. She didn't explain. "There are plenty of men who want me, Mason." Like that. Calm. Dismissive. Like I was a placeholder. A convenience. Not even a person anymore. I didn't scream. Didn't throw anything. I just stood there, letting that sentence echo between us like thunder in a room with no exit. The next morning, I left. I didn't pack. I didn't write a note. I just walked away. Left everything. Her voice. Her scent. The lies. All of it. I didn't think I'd look back. But you don't just forget someone like Maya. She gets under your skin, behind your ribs, inside your blood. Every woman I met after her felt like paper compared to her fire. She didn't chase me, didn't text, didn't call. That's what hurt most. Not the cheating, not the betrayal, the ease with which she let me go. Weeks passed. Then a month. Jared told me she was out with someone new already. Some gym guy. Huge arms. No soul. He laughed. I didn't. But late one night I got a message. From her. Just one line. Do you ever think about me? I stared at the screen for an hour. Didn't answer. She messaged again, a day later. I still wear your shirt to sleep. I didn't respond. Then silence. Until the knock. That's where this story truly begins. Not at the gallery. Not in bed. Not even with Eli's text. No. It begins at 3 a.m., when I opened my apartment door and found her standing there, soaked from rain, eyeliner running, holding nothing but regret in her hands. Mason, she whispered. And I, like the fool I swore I'd never be, let her in. Rain pooled around her feet like sorrow finally trying to escape. I opened the door, and there she was, drenched, mascara smudged, arms crossed tightly against the cold. She didn't look like the Maya I remembered. She looked small. Not physically. She still had that dangerous beauty that made your chest tighten just from standing too close. But something in her had cracked. It was in her posture. Her voice. Her eyes. I didn't know where else to go, she whispered, shivering. I didn't speak. Just stepped aside. She entered quietly like guilt wearing high heels. I could smell her perfume through the rain, jasmine, vanilla, memory. The scent still haunted my sheets no matter how many times I'd washed them. She peeled off her coat, water dripping from her hair. I watched her the way someone watches a fire they once loved, knowing it burned the house down but still feeling the warmth. I thought you hated me, she said finally, turning to face me. I did, I replied. Still might. She gave a soft, almost bitter laugh. You didn't block me. You didn't try that hard. She shrugged, sat on the edge of my couch like she wasn't sure she was allowed to take up space anymore. I hated that I wanted to comfort her. Hated that every part of me still responded to her presence like a wound that liked the sting. You look tired, she said. You look like you ran out of people to lie to. That one landed. She flinched. Fair, she said quietly. I deserve that. I didn't answer. I poured 2 glasses of whiskey, handed her one. We sat in silence, listening to the rain, trying to confess everything the night was too scared to say. I didn't sleep with him. She said it like she needed to believe it more than I did. Eli. She nodded. You just let him believe he could. I needed to feel wanted. Not just admired. Desired. Her voice trembled. You loved me. But you stopped looking at me like I was magic. I stared into my glass, watching the amber swirl like a hurricane. That's because you started disappearing, Maya. You were never where I left you. Always looking past me. I didn't mean to hurt you. But you did. She nodded again, silent. There was something in her eyes I hadn't seen before, something raw. Not quite remorse, but something close enough that it could pass for it if you squinted. I don't know why I came here, she said, her voice almost breaking. I thought maybe we could. No. That shut the room down. No, Maya. There's no we. There's no rewind button for what you said. What you did. You told me there were plenty of men who wanted you. She looked at me, eyes wide, pleading. I didn't mean that. I was angry. You made me feel unseen. I snapped. You think I didn't notice the way men looked at you? You think I didn't hear the way they spoke around you? I saw it all. I stayed. I trusted you. The silence afterward was suffocating. But then, she moved closer. Not dramatically. Slowly. Like a flame inching toward dry paper. Her hand touched my knee. I never stopped wanting you, she whispered. My body betrayed me first. The warmth, the ache, the desperate craving for what we used to be. I closed my eyes, trying to fight it. But it was like trying to resist drowning after you've already inhaled the water. Her lips brushed mine. Once. Soft. Testing. I didn't stop her. The second kiss wasn't gentle. It was old hunger. Unresolved ache. Apology in the shape of heat. I lifted her, carried her to the bedroom like a man carrying his own curse. We didn't make love. We remembered it. Her skin still fit perfectly against mine. Her fingers still knew how to unravel me. Every moan, every gasp was a dangerous lullaby dragging me back to the very hell I'd just escaped. She whispered my name like it was a confession. I said hers like it was a sin. When it was over, we lay there. Bare skin. Shared breath. Tangled sheets. She rested her head on my chest like she belonged there, like she never left. I missed this, she murmured. I didn't answer. I was too busy wondering what the hell I'd just done. She stayed the night. In the morning, sunlight made everything look wrong. Her makeup was smeared, her hair wild, her scent heavy in the air. I watched her sleep for a moment, then got up and left the room. I made coffee, stared out the window, thought about the million red flags I'd just kissed back into my life. When she came out, wrapped in my hoodie, she smiled like she'd won. "What now?" I asked. She leaned against the counter. "We try again." I laughed. Bitter. Hollow. "You really think one night erases everything?" "No. But it reminded us why we began." "Maya, you don't get to decide that." She walked over, took my hand. "Do you still love me?" The question wasn't fair. Not because I didn't know the answer, but because I did. "Yes," I whispered. "Then that's all that matters." "No," I said, pulling away. "That's what you want to matter. But love isn't enough if trust is dead." She looked hurt. Almost genuinely. "So what now?" "I don't know." She left around noon. No promises. No declarations. Just a long look and a soft goodbye. Not forever. Just until she decided I was weak enough to let her back in again. I told myself it wouldn't happen. But that night I smelled her on the sheets, and I couldn't sleep. A week passed. Then another. Texts came. Short. Sweet. Dangerous. "Thinking of you. This song reminded me of us. Do you miss me?" Every time I stared at the screen, jaw clenched, heart heavy. I didn't reply. But I wanted to. God, I wanted to. Then one night I gave in. "Come over." She didn't hesitate. The cycle started again. It wasn't a relationship. It was a war. She'd show up at midnight, kiss me like I was oxygen, leave before dawn with lipstick on my collar and no promises. I became addicted to the pain, the thrill, the illusion that maybe she was changing. She wasn't. Sometimes I'd find strange hair ties. A second wine glass left in her purse. Her stories would slip. Names, places, details that didn't line up. And yet, I let it slide. Because some part of me believed the version of her that cried in my arms. Until the night I followed her. I didn't plan to. But I saw her leaving a restaurant downtown. Laughing. Holding someone's hand. Not Eli. Not some stranger. Jared. My friend Jared. She saw me. Eyes widened. Lips parted like she forgot how to speak. Jared froze. Guilt all over his face. I didn't say a word. Just turned around and walked away. Again. But this time, something in me snapped. That night, I didn't drink. Didn't cry. I packed everything she left in my apartment, every hoodie, every book, every photo, and threw it out. Blocked her on everything. Burned her scent from my sheets with fire-hot water and rage. And still, her name echoed in my head like a song I hated but couldn't stop humming. Because she wasn't just a mistake. She was my mistake. People assume heartbreak feels like a bomb, loud, sudden, obliterating everything in one grand detonation. They're wrong. It's quieter than that. It's walking into your apartment and expecting her perfume, only to find air that smells like nothing. It's checking your phone reflexively, knowing full well she won't text you anymore, but hoping she does anyway. It's seeing a bottle of her shampoo still in your shower and not throwing it out because it makes you feel closer to something that never really existed. I should have known better. After catching her with Jared, I did everything right. Blocked her, erased her, threw her memories into a trash bag like broken promises. I even changed the locks, as if she were some villain trying to break in. But evil doesn't always come pounding at your door. Sometimes it just whispers, "You miss me." The next message didn't come through a phone. It came as a knock. I was stupid enough to answer. There she was again, different this time. Hair in a messy bun, no makeup, oversized hoodie that wasn't mine. She looked tired. Not the kind of tired sleep fixes. The kind of tired life leaves in your bones after you've pretended to be too many people for too long. "Mason," she said, voice small. I didn't let her speak. "Why him?" I asked. "Of all people." She stared at me. Didn't deny it. Didn't even try to spin it. "I didn't plan it. It just happened." "That's not an answer." "I was lonely." I laughed, bitter and broken. "You had me, Maya." "No," she said sharply, eyes flicking up. "I had your love. But I didn't feel wanted." And there it was again, that twisted reasoning. That aching void she always seemed to feed like an addiction. "You use people to feel less hollow," I said. "But the hole's inside you." She stepped forward. "And you think you don't?" Silence. Because she wasn't wrong. We didn't kiss. Not that night. She just sat on the couch, pulled her legs up, and cried. Not loudly. Not theatrically. Just soft, helpless sobs like someone who finally realized what they'd done after the destruction settled. "I ruined everything," she whispered. "I ruin everyone." I didn't reach for her. Not immediately. I sat across from her, watching the woman I had once worshipped crumble like a paper god. "You're not broken," I said. "You just think breaking things proves you're real." That's when she stood up. Walked over. Kneeling, she pressed her forehead to my knee. "I don't want to lose you," she said, tears staining my jeans. "You already did." "I'll do better. I swear. I'll cut them all off. I'll prove it. Just give me a reason not to go back to being her." And damn me, I gave her one. For a while, things were better. She stopped disappearing at night. Started leaving her phone unlocked. Called me just to say she missed me. There were no more shady dinners, no cryptic messages, no guilt hidden in her kiss. We laughed again. We cooked together. We even planned a weekend trip, something we never got around to before. It almost felt real. But pretending doesn't last forever. Not when the foundation's built on lies. The first sign came in her eyes. Maya used to have this wild sparkle, this chaotic glint that hinted she could either kiss you breathless or ruin your life with a smile. After a month of being good, that light faded. She wasn't meant for quiet. She didn't know how to sit still in love. And I started noticing the rest. Late night texting again. Locked screens. Sudden showers after coming home. She claimed she was working longer hours, but her paychecks didn't change. And one night, while she was in the shower, her laptop pinged. An email. I wasn't going to look. But the subject line hit like a slap. "Last night was perfect. Tell him you're staying late again tonight." No name. No details. Just enough to know. Enough to break me. Again. When she came out, towel around her body, water still clinging to her collarbones, she smiled. "What?" she asked, seeing my face. I held up the laptop. Her smile died instantly. "You went through my stuff? You left it open." "That's not the point." "No, Maya. The point is you're still lying to me." She didn't cry. She didn't apologize. She didn't explain. She just stood there, mouth pressed into a line, like she was trying to figure out how mad she should be for getting caught. "Who is it this time?" I asked. "Another bartender? One of my friends again? A stranger with a nice watch?" "You don't understand." "Then explain it." I roared. Silence. She sat on the bed, crossed her arms, looked up at me with something close to defiance. "I can't stop," she said finally. "I try. I do. But I need to feel wanted, desired, chosen." I felt sick. You are chosen, I whispered. You just never picked me back. The final straw didn't come with cheating. It came with honesty. We sat in that room for hours. No shouting. No accusations. Just truth. And truth, I learned, can hurt more than any lie. I don't think I'm built for monogamy, she said. I want the thrill, the chase, the attention. You gave me stability, love. But part of me craves chaos. I know it's wrong. I know it breaks people. But it makes me feel alive. I stared at her, trying to remember why I loved her. But all I could see was the wreckage. You should go, I said. She didn't fight. She didn't beg. She just nodded. Packing was quick. She didn't say much. Just gathered her things while I stood there, arms crossed, heart numb. At the door, she looked at me one last time. I'll always love you, Mason. No, Maya, I said. You'll always need people like me. That's not the same thing. She left. And this time, I didn't look back. Days passed. Then weeks. I didn't hear from her. But she lingered. In the smell of jasmine on strangers. In every text that wasn't her. In the silence after songs we once danced to. Then Jared called. Not to apologize. To warn me. She's telling people you hurt her, he said. That you were controlling. That you made her feel unsafe. I nearly dropped the phone. She's what? I don't know what's true or not, man. But people are talking. That's when I realized, Maya didn't just leave damage. She rewrote it. She had to be the victim. Had to be wanted. Even in her downfall. Even in the ashes she lit herself. I sat in the dark for a long time that night, thinking about every version of her I'd loved. The girl in the gallery. The woman in my bed. The stranger on my doorstep. All masked. All hers. And I had loved every one of them. That was my mistake. People ask what healing feels like. They expect something poetic. Like sunrise after a storm. Or the slow bloom of spring after a long, brutal winter. But it's not. Healing feels like apathy. Like seeing her name pop up on someone else's phone and not feeling the weight in your chest. Like forgetting the sound of her laugh without meaning to. Like realizing you went a whole day without thinking of her, and it doesn't scare you. It feels like silence you're no longer afraid of. 6 months had passed since she left, for real, this time. I didn't see her. Didn't hear from her. She didn't try to claw back into my life like before. Maybe she'd found someone else to feed on. Maybe she'd finally choked on her own lies. But then, one night, I ran into her. It was at a rooftop party Jared dragged me to. I wasn't expecting anything except overpriced drinks and forgettable conversations. The music was too loud. The people too pretty. The smiles too sharp. Then I turned and there she was. Maya. Hair longer. Eyes colder. Lipstick red like blood. She wore a black silk dress that clung to her like it was scared to let go. There was a new man beside her. Tall, handsome, confident in that Wall Street kind of way. A trophy himself, just like she liked them. She saw me. Froze. I didn't. I just smiled. Nodded once. And turned away. Later that night, I felt her before I heard her. That familiar weight of her presence sliding next to me like fog in a locked room. You look good, she said. So do you, I replied. You always do. That was never the problem. She chuckled, but there was no warmth in it. Can we talk? We are. I mean, alone. I looked at her. Really looked. And for the first time I didn't feel rage. Or longing. Or nostalgia. I just felt free. Why? I just need to say some things. I've heard enough. She tilted her head, a little hurt dancing in her smile. You always had a way of cutting deeper with calm than most do with screams. You earned it. She leaned on the balcony rail beside me. The city glowed beneath us, wild and uncaring. Her perfume was different now, richer, heavier. Less flowers, more ambition. I'm sorry, she said. Not just for cheating. For all of it. For breaking you. You didn't break me, Maya. That made her look up. I thought I did. You almost did. But then I realized. I let you. I kept letting you burn me and call it love. She said nothing for a moment. Just looked out at the skyline like she was hoping it might give her the words she couldn't find. I don't think I know how to be good, she admitted. I don't think you want to be. That hit her harder than anything I'd ever said. She laughed again, but it cracked. You really hate me, huh? No. I pitied you. Now? I don't feel anything. Silence fell between us like a final curtain. You know, she said softly, I thought if I lost you, someone else would just love me the way you did. I nodded slowly. And they don't. They want pieces. You wanted me. Too bad you didn't want me back. Her eyes shimmered with unshed tears, but I didn't care anymore. You're just going to walk away? She asked. No, Maya. I already did. As I turned to leave, she grabbed my arm, not hard, but enough to make me stop. I still dream about you, she whispered. I dream you come back. I looked at her hand, then her eyes. I don't. Then I walked away. 3 months later, I heard she was dating again. Some tech CEO. Rumor was she cheated on him with his business partner. The cycle never ends with Maya, it just changes faces. Let them have her. Let every man who thinks he's strong enough try. Let them fall into her eyes, kiss her poison, ignore the smoke until the whole house burns. She told me. There are plenty of men who want me. She wasn't lying. And I walked away. And let them have her. Epilogue. People heal. But people also remember. I remember the gallery. I remember the mornings. I remember the lies that tasted like love. But I also remember who I became. Stronger. Smarter. Colder, but not bitter. I still believe in love. I do. Just not the kind that demands your sanity in exchange for fleeting kisses. Not the kind that says, I love you, while leaving lipstick on someone else's skin. The next time I love, it'll be real. Quiet. Uncomplicated. Safe. And Maya? She'll still be searching for someone to fill a void that was never mine to fix.